May I request all our guests in the pre-function area to please join us inside the main ballroom. We're about to begin with our next session, please. Once again, I'd like to welcome all of you back. I hope all of you enjoyed your tea break there and got a chance to network with each other. And of course, our panelists were also a part of this short break. But moving on, we have a very special address indeed to know more about Samruddhi, and a very, very special guest who's traveled all the way to be with all of us today. Let's put our hands together as I invite on stage Dr. Aruna Sharma, Additional Chief Secretary, Panchayat and Rural Development, Government of Madhya Pradesh, to share with us the Madhya Pradesh Samruddhi model. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as I once again request Dr. Sharma to please join us on stage. We welcome you, ma'am, and more than glad that you could join us today. Please.
How do I switch it on? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to share with all of you, after an excellent introductory by the Secretary of Government of India, as well as the panel which we had. This Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is what we have said is way to Samruddhi. Samruddhi is prosperity, as you know, and the Madhya Pradesh financial inclusion model was termed as Samruddhi, on which we have been working for last couple of years. Definitely now here, when we are going ahead with this of course you know is our state of Madhya Pradesh. It is very important to understand what is financial inclusion, and today morning it has very beautifully come out that we are not talking about only payment mode, we are not only talking about the direct benefit transfer, we are talking about a complete financial product. And today's panelists have said something ahead of it, that we are talking about inclusive growth. Now that is where the whole challenge is coming, that how this financial inclusion is moving towards the inclusive growth. Are we doing it, or are we in a campaign mode going to end up by just doing some numbers, some figures being rattling out? And that is a caution which we will say as we are moving ahead. Hence, there is a need to have a database which is of multi-utility. We have to have a conduit system. Very rightly, our colleague from NABARD very rightly said the importance of PACS. It is very, very important. In the state of Madhya Pradesh, we have found that much of the accounts and penetration is of the PACS. We can't ignore them. We are doing DBT to the PACS by the manual mode, not by the core banking mode. Now we are working out whether we can have a mirror image of the accounts of the PACS in the cooperative bank, so that at least till cooperative bank it goes in core banking and then it moves in the manual mode, unless and until the NABARD assists the PACS to come up into the core banking mode. Because PACS is not a bank. So we are terming PACS as a BC of the cooperative bank, as an extension counter of a cooperative bank. Now it is a bit complicated, we are just finding some leeway so that we are able to use the PACS as we are moving ahead. Similarly, another very, very important partner is the post office. In Government of India, the post office is dealt by Department of Economic Affairs and banking is done by the banking section. Now these two wings are working separately. We cannot ignore that again, unless until the bankers are ready to penetrate into it, because 1/3 of your penetration is of the post offices. 1/3. And the number of accounts in the post office and the PACS, if I put together, will be more than half, which is there in any state government if you look into it. So do we have to duplicate it? Do we want to again create an ultra small bank there, or do we want to leverage upon it? That is where the challenge lies. Then of course it is to have an easy access. Now this is something my colleague from UDI also said, who do we keep in center, the Radha or us? So that is the whole channel. Whenever we are making a policy, who is at the center? My convenience, our convenience, or the convenience of the individual, who is the ultimate beneficiary for whom we are building up this entire edifice. And that is where we had been working upon as we moved ahead with the Samruddhi. Madhya Pradesh went about for a common database. Why did we go for a common database? Simple reason, you must have heard about Bhamasha in Rajasthan, and now Telangana is also going for Samagra. For the simple reason, if the government MIS is to build with your banking system, the bank goes and opens the account. But to all G2P, if we want to route through it, it is very, very important to know the family. 90% of our calculations in the MIS system is based on the family. So in the Samagra database, we have a family ID number, the unique individual ID number, which is linked to the Aadhaar wherever Aadhaar number is there, and linked to all other numbers of the government. So whether it is a NREGA number, whether it is a contractual labor enrollment number, whether it is a BPL number, whether it is XYZ number. Once we put all these things put together, the entire government MIS has been built on this edifice of Samagra, so that all entitlements are thrown by this MIS, and because your account number is linked with this number, automatically all G2P payment is flowing through this. In the financial year 13-14, we transferred more than 6,000 crores, and from April till now, we have transferred more than 8,000 crores through this system. All pensions, all scholarships, all your PDS systems, and now this year we are going to add the agriculture sector and the health sector into this whole system. So this is how we are moving with a common database. This is a workflow. Now this is where I'll say, please don't ignore at this point of time non-core banking institutions. Again, I may sound repetitive on this because I don't think so. Like if I give you statistics of Madhya Pradesh, I am delivering this whole system through 17,000 points, which includes your commercial banks, private banks, RRBs, cooperative banks, and PACs, and as well as post office. Out of 17,000 points, 7,000 are post offices. Again, if you move ahead from this 7,000 post offices, cooperative banks and PACs together will be another 5,000. Now, can I ignore this 10,000 out of this 17,000? I cannot. Or are the bankers geared up to open 10,000 extra ultra small banks as we are moving ahead? Now this is a challenge we have to work upon, and this is how we have to move. So what we did in Madhya Pradesh is we created conduit for everybody. So there is a conduit for non-core banking, there is a conduit for core banking. For non-core banking, we are going through Sanchay Post. It takes 20 days for money to reach. We are quite happy about it. All G2P, we said if it takes 20 days, fair enough. We have got into that cycle that it is going to take 20 days. It is not going to take less. In the rest of the places, 3 days. Here it is going to take 20 days as we are moving ahead, and one account for one person to get all benefits of the government. While we were working on the financial inclusion, and as we are talking of this Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, we went for the geographical norm. We shifted the complete paradigm shift from population norm of 2,000 to geographical norm of 5 kilometer radius. Why 5 kilometers? It is the access issue. You can reach there, you can deposit. We have very interesting stories where a drunkard husband's wife, an alcoholic husband's wife, she goes and deposits his earnings every day into the ultra small bank, which is within 5 kilometer radius, and leaves only 50 rupees into his pocket. That's all. That's the money he spends. So this kind of an identity, this kind of a barrier-free thing for that person to reach within 5 kilometer radius was the best paradigm shift we did. We were shocked to know we have 53,000 villages in Madhya Pradesh. District level coordination committee, we asked them to map all institutions in 5 kilometer radius. We were shocked to find that more than 14,676 did not have any of the financial institution in 5 kilometer. Not even a post office, not even a PACS, not even an RRB. And that is where then we pushed to open the ultra small banks. Now we have more than 2,415 ultra small banks. The whole idea was to make it into a business model. The banker said that you have to have a turnover of 45 lakhs per annum so as to able to give a decent kind of a commission to that business correspondent. Fair enough. We gave them 100 square feet space into the e-panchayat room of the panchayat. We insisted upon putting a board. So there is a board of Bank of Punjab National Bank, ultra small bank. Central Bank, ultra small bank. ICICI Bank, ultra small bank. So that it gave them an identity, it gave them a stable place, it gave them a brick and mortar, which today Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is also insisting upon that it has to be a brick and mortar place if we are talking of a holistic financial inclusion. Now, with this kind of an arrangement, what they had of putting the money, the statistics of last nearly 1 year and 8 months is the average deposits in an account of no frill used to be 50 rupees have gone up to nearly 2,300 rupees. So that kind of a money is available in the bank. Not only that, a small pensioner getting 500 rupees pension started a recurring deposit of 50 rupees per month. So in the sense, you are introducing them to your different financial products so that they don't require that money immediately. And that kind of a money is available in the system for you to give the credit. The credit worthiness record started getting built up as you are moving ahead into the whole system. So now you have everybody, we opened additional 16 lakh accounts into this whole process when we got into it. So today I am saying we have to warn against the danger of the bankers rushing to open two accounts, every family, every household into a system. And unless until you link up with the MIS of the government, many of them may be defunct accounts. And if I am not wrong, the RBI record is for a couple of months, say 6 months or so, if there is no transaction, the account gets closed. Then what happens? One fine day government gets up. No, I have to give him a pension or I have to give him something. Again, you have to go through the drill of reoperating that account or reopening that account. So no wonder the bank manager is completely hassled because he has to go through the drill of opening an account and closing an account and then again opening an account. So all that we can avoid if we go systematically about it, and which Mr. Bansal was very rightly saying, here we have opened accounts for children because children do get scholarship money, uniform money, books money, cycle money into their account. So minimum 4 transactions. So the child above 10 is having an independent account, child below 10 with a guardian. Because right from class 6, it comes into the fold of getting these different various scholarships into the process. The saving habits start off. In fact, we are requesting banks now to move ahead, catch them young. We said under your CSR, why don't you take up the issue of sanitation and hygiene in a school? They are your future clients. Anyway, you have their account. Please put your CSR money there. Get hold of these children who will get into your banking vault right from the beginning and early stages. We had a lot of bottlenecks, differentiating between having access and gaining access. We realized that when we started giving the money reaches. But there are lots of barriers. The individual's fear of entering a bank. You know, it was something surprising to people like you and I that we couldn't understand. You have an account there, why can't you go and approach it? They have a lot of hesitance in going that. How do they gain access? So maybe the distance was able to break that barrier because that person who is managing that ultra small bank is knowing that individual by face, by name, their family, they could chat with them, they could talk with him, they could ask questions to that person, that they could ask what they could not understand. So that gaining access was very, very important. Then our insistence was to issue debit card, which the bankers were very reluctant. We are very happy that with the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, now it is mandatory. That will enable us to include to link the bank account with Samagra ID, with Aadhaar number, everything is linked today. So it's all in one stroke. Now whatever is your entry point, there is no problem as far as we are concerned. You can have that as an entry point and move ahead. We are eagerly awaiting for post office to come in core banking. Either bankers open a USB there, 7,000 USB, I don't know, or the post offices, we have to find a solution. Either the bankers put a pause there or do something so that we are able to get into it. The potential model, what we are trying to work upon is, in these shadow areas, these 14,000 villages, we term them as shadow areas, where we opened the ultra small bank. Any bank who opens a rural unbanked area branch in this area, the state government is ready to construct a building for them, what we have termed as Mukhyamantri Samruddhi Bhavan, a complete bank building of 10 lakhs of rupees, of which they will be paying the rent to the panchayat. Till date, 33 have been opened, and another 10 are on the line. So like this, if you are open 300 of them, then in the remote areas, the structure, what we are ultimately aiming at is, there is a small value branch, a full-fledged branch, catering with 6 to 7 ultra small banks within 5-kilometer radius, and a debit card, a RuPay card linked with the MIS entitlements. 5,000 rupees overdraft, I could see a lot of concern among all of you, including the bankers. Maybe that is where the MFI can step in. Maybe there is a need to fine-tune this 5,000 rupees. How does it go? So does it go through MFI? Does it go through debit card? How does it operate? The MFI experience has been good because they are personally in touch with them and the recovery is reasonably very high percentage. So maybe that is the structure we are thinking of, that one small value branch with 6-7 USBs, MFIs below that, and maybe there is a scope of M-Pesa, because even if we do all this, the biggest challenge is how do we transfer the cash from one place to another? How does the cash reach that place? It's a big challenge for everybody, that how do you keep the cash flow there? That's why again I come back to what our colleague from NABARD said of PAX. Because PAX is something which is always cash rich. Whatever cash an individual draws from the bank, there are 3 points where generally a villager spends the money. One is your PDS system ration shop, which is linked to the PAX, 90%. One is your liquor shop, and third is your pan bidi shop. So in this, if we are able to evolve a system either through M-Pesa or through a debit card or through by putting a POS machine, the cash requirement in the village will considerably come down. Because all G2P is anyway going to go into the account. So it's a virtual money. And these 3 transactions, if you are able to develop into the whole system, then your cash requirements will considerably come down into the remotest area. And that is what we are targeting in 14-15 by taking one pilot district where we'll like it to be cashless kind of a district as much as possible and bring it down to minimum cash. And in urban places, for bigger transactions, insist upon credit card and debit cards as we move ahead. So that's a challenge we have given to collectors. Let's see how they move ahead with that. Then, next step is the insurance and pension for the unorganized sector. Insurance, again we found in the government, all your general insurance companies, as well as your LIC, they have also got a direction that you have to open your centers in the rural areas. So now you have an ultra small bank being opened in the rural area, and you have a GIS point opened in the rural areas. Can these two converge is a challenge where we are talking to these two bodies, that can your BC be a GIS agent or GIS agent becomes a BC, so that you have a common delivery point from where you can again move ahead upon it. And this is where ultimately we are going ahead with this. Maybe Sikri of District Datia will be the first village under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana for everybody to have a debit card. This is a debit card, a RuPay debit card, which will take care of your 1 rupee, 25 rupees gap, 100% RuPay debit card. This has got the RuPay number, it has got the Samagra ID number, it has got the family ID number, it has got the name, and it has got the Aadhaar number embossed, or what you call it as a co-branded on the RuPay card. The design has been approved by the RuPay card, the cards are in the making, and this is a drill we are going to follow in the entire state of Madhya Pradesh, where the name of the bank and rest of the details will be issued for every debit card. So as to go back to the first point, that all these are linked into our MIS system. Complete linkage in our MIS system, so that all transactions, whether it is G2P or P2P or everything, will be sort of linked into the whole system. It will make the banker's transaction very viable, opening of these accounts very viable, and it is a personalized card which an individual will have, which is an identity for that person. So that tomorrow if we have an internet, it will become completely Aadhaar based. If it is not internet, nothing stops, because you have a locally stored biometrics and photo and Samagra ID number along with you, so everything is available. Not only that, in the track 1 of the electronic strip on the back side, the Samagra ID number and Aadhaar number are also embedded into it, so that any damage into the fascia of it will not create a problem, and the card will be completely valid for any futuristic kind of things which we are trying to develop into the whole system. So this is a kind of a card, and on the similar line, like I said, Bhamasha is also going. Telangana is also going, and slowly all NPR states will also have this data. The advantage will be that every money flow which is going from government to individual-oriented scheme or family-oriented schemes will be routing through your financial inclusion system. There will be no other system available for it. So whether it is you are paying for the crop as a minimum support price, or whether you are paying the social security benefits, whether you are paying under subsidy of various schemes where the cash transfer is there, any of these systems will get built upon it. Second thing is, like being a debit card, the moment we put on the PDS shop, the POS machines, all your transactions in the PDS cards will again get through your banking system of whatever 1 rupee, 2 rupee kg rice or whatever they are buying into the whole system. Similarly, when we graduate into the next stage of health benefits, then all the health benefits in any hospital they are taking across the globe, then they will have this advantage of RuPay within India, that you can get your debit and your entire transaction details will be available in the bank. There is one thing which the bankers have to correct. I have found that the ultra small bank transactions are not getting reflected into your general credit transaction platforms. Separately, we are getting it through the BC management, like we have MP Cons with us, from where we get the transaction details every day, every week to my mail. Now, you will have to link that too, because that will prove the credit worthiness of that individual, and you will be in a position to provide whatever small credits are required. And MFI linkage with the bank is a must. The requirements are too small, the requirements are urgent, requirements are at very short notice, which in the banking system, I don't see in immediate future that that kind of an openness will come to a banker, that you are able to give a credit by just because you know that person's face and you are ready to give that. No. You have a lot of paperwork to undergo, you have a lot of checks and balances to undergo, and that delay that individual is not ready to take. So I see a very, very strong role of MFIs there. And of course the M-Pesa, what we are going to try in one district of Madhya Pradesh, 100%. So I think I'll stop at this stage, and any further details, any queries needed, of course you are all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. And to acknowledge your presence, may I once again request Vineet to please join us on stage, and thank you. Let's put our hands together for ma'am and for sharing with us the initiative taken. Your beautiful smile reminds us of these flowers, and hence let's put our hands together as madam is being presented by a memento. Thank you so very much for joining us.